Okay, let's step inside to our foyer. Here's how this is looking right now for the 4th of July. I have a vintage flag that I thrifted draped across this antique cabinet. A pretty old blue quilt on top. We have some pillows. I think those are from Target with some green and blue. Kind of ties in with the green on the shades and then all the blue we have in the room. And then over here, I added some fun patriotic decor that I had. So of course, we've got some more thrifted pieces. The Paint by Numbers was a thrifted piece that I got recently. I spray painted the frame gold, but I really love the whole nautical scene on that and the colors. And then we've got a little lantern that I thrifted just for a pop of red. These are some really cool old airmail. And I loved the red and blue and the flags on there, so I popped those up here. And then we just have some of our coats hanging, and I just threw on this little basket with some greenery and the hat. So that's our foyer, pretty simple. I used to have a table here in the middle of the foyer that I would decorate, but I just kind of have it open for the kids to run around and be crazy and play in here, so we don't have that up currently. Okay, let's go from the foyer into the dining room. So in here, the main patriotic feature that I put up for summer is this bunting that I thrifted. One of my favorite decor items to pull out every year. I love the size of it and the color. And then over the weekend, I just found this whale at a vintage sale, and I thought it was just so cool and unique and different. And this was the best place I could think to put it, just kind of right on the table. It's maybe a little more boho than antique looking, but I don't know, I just thought it was such a fun piece for summer. I always used to say when I was a kid that my favorite animal were whales, so I thought it was fitting to have a whale in my summer decor. I added some flags over on my baker's rack here and all my candlesticks. And then I actually have this piece of art that I think is quite appropriate for the holiday. It just looks very colonial, and you've got your guys there sitting with their red cloaks and some blue dishes in the background. And then we always have up these blue plates. And on my baker's rack, I have a collection of pictures that I've just found and sourced from garage sales and flea markets and thrift stores over the years. I have tons of transferware, some blue willow, some angelica, just lots of different things up here that I can grab from and use in my decor and just have out and enjoy. And then I also have an assortment of like tablecloths and chair covers down here. I'm definitely loving all the red, white, and blue. I wish I could feel comfortable keeping it up all year because it's just so fun to have around. I recently thrifted this platter along with 2 others. It's a French platter. I think I paid $8 for it at an estate sale. So that's up on the mantle. Some candlesticks with some thrifted glass globes and some red candles. Just kept it simple. And then of course you have to bring out the gingham pillows for summer. I'll have those linked below for you. They're one of my favorite pillows. And over here on the baker's hutch, I just have a lot of my ironstone. A planter with some greenery and some ginger jars. You guys will have to let me know what you think of this whale. Would you have purchased it? It was only $18 and I thought that was a pretty good price. Okay, let me take you into the living room now. Definitely the most heavily decorated room in the house. Went pretty heavy with the red, white, and blue in here, but I love it. For some reason, this room just looks better with more decor. Every time I decorate for Christmas or the holidays, it always just comes to life and it can handle a lot of decor. So that's good for me. I'll take it. But let me show you around a little bit. I'll start over here with the shelf above our TV. I really like how this turned out this year. I normally do something a little more symmetrical, but this year I just kind of wanted to do more of a vignette and throw some things up there that would work together nicely. So we've got some really fun summer things like the little ships and this ship art here, a little boat, and everything has been thrifted. Every single thing down to the shelf. Now this banner I did get from Hobby Lobby, I think a few years ago. Other than that, all secondhand. Another thing I like that I did recently is place these like oil lamp globes on my sconces here. And I like that little bit of sparkle and that you can still see the pretty candles and the bulbs underneath. Okay, and then moving over to the hutch in the room. One of the impactful things I did on the hutch was to add this tablecloth inside the doors. I had recently painted the inside of this hutch green and it was just way too prominent and it was kind of just taking over the whole atmosphere in here. So I thought this fun little picnic looking red and white checkered blanket or tablecloth would look perfect for summer for the 4th of July. And so I just used a tension rod and hung that in here. And I love how that looks. I also added the blue plates on either side of the wall. I'm always decorating with plates. And then on the front of the doors, I hung this vintage ship picture. Okay, over here in our bay windows, I just popped some flags into a vessel and called it good. And then behind the sofa here, just kept it simple with some books and a plant. This gorgeous ginger jar is from Galt International. I'll link that down below for you. You can actually buy those off of Amazon. I love them so much. I think every house needs a ginger jar. They're just gorgeous, traditional, classic. I love the color and they're just awesome. Okay, let me talk to you about our fireplace. Up here we have my collection of shells on both sides. Shells are just awesome to decorate with in the summer. Hopefully everybody has some shells in their stash. I get mine from thrift stores, from the beach, from Hobby Lobby, Amazon. You can get them anywhere. And then again, we've got some sparkle with some glass domes and candles, and those are on some architectural salvage just to kind of raise them up a little bit. We've got a vintage sailboat on the mantle. Doesn't get more classic than that for summer. This thrifted mirror kind of has like a weathered look to it in that dusty gray blue color. Perfect for summer, for my beachy, Michigan beachy house here that I'm going for. And then on my couches, we went pretty heavy with the pillows and the patterns. So I've had these toile pillows for a long time. I use them a lot in my Christmas decor, but they're great to bring out for the 4th of July. And then these were from Target this year, and I absolutely love this whole line. I think it's from Threshold. I'll try and link these below again for you, but these are actually double-sided. And I just love that they look like a quilt. And then I love that one. That one's just fun for some stripes. These throws are gorgeous. They look like an antique coverlet. So I just loved that collection this year. And I'm happy to have it now to bring out for every 4th of July. So we have the same thing on both couches. And these are just IKEA Upland couches. I don't know the exact name of the covers that are on them right now, but you can get several different colors and covers for them. And I love that you can switch things out by just replacing your couch covers, and you can have a whole new looking piece of furniture. And then over here on this little table, we've got, again, a thrifted lamp and a lampshade in a nice wicker, perfect for summer. And I've got my collection of souvenir seashell boxes. And my rug is from Revival. It's a vintage rug. I absolutely love this rug, and it could not be more perfect for this time of year because it's got the beiges and the reds and the blues in it. It's such a gorgeous rug. And I think it really helped to set the whole tone in this room. And here's how my bookshelves are looking. I just redid them. They were in desperate need of a refresh. So I tried to make them very summery, lots of red, white, and blue. These two shelves are just books because my little guy loves to get into them. So we just keep these books. But yeah, I like how these turned out. We've got some red, white, and blue books, and we've got the blue willow over here as well to complement with the blue willow that I have across the room on the other side of the hutch. I actually had this in my vintage shop and I just pulled it out the other day because I've always really liked it. I just never knew where to put it, and I think it looks really fun up here on the bookshelves. And this is what this side looks like. Again, everything was thrifted. And I also recently, I got this bookshelf at the same vintage sale that I got the whale at. Unfortunately, there was only one, but I love that so much. I think that's so cool. And I just pulled out the red, white, and blue books. Little flags, some blue willow, and there you go. It looks just perfect for 4th of July. Okay, let's go into our breakfast room. Not a whole lot in here for the 4th of July. I think actually the only thing I have right now is this British flag pillow that I got at a yard sale over the weekend. I think I paid $3 for that. But yeah, this room is used really hard, so I don't spend as much time primping in here as I used to. This is where the kids eat every meal and do their crafts, and they just destroy it, to be honest, all day. So it's probably not as beautiful as it could be, but I do my best to keep it charming at least. So I have a lot of yellow and blue in this room, which I think is perfect for a little breakfast room. We have our little coffee bar, coffee station over here that we haven't really been using as much lately, but we'll probably start using it more in the winter. We have our Nespresso machine here. I've had this little tea cart. I've had this for many, many years. I think I got it from my grandma. I've painted it several different times. One of these days, maybe I'll attempt to strip it down and stain it because I think that'd be really nice. But right now it's just a dark blue. And then we've got this basket, 2-tiered basket tray that I love. Thrifted that. Filled it with some different things that you'd find in a breakfast room. We have our coffee grinder here. Again, everything has been thrifted. Everything's found secondhand, other than the curtains and the curtain rod. Nothing fancy on the table. I had made an activity for my kids to do make some fashion clothes, and so I just put that in the bowl. Put away the little figurines, but I kept that out because it's at least in a pretty bowl. And then over here I have this little thrifted play kitchen that my son sometimes plays at. Not as much anymore, but he used to when we first got it. But I love that it's yellow. It goes in this room perfect. Nothing too exciting on these peg rails. And then up here, I've got some patriotic decor. I just popped a couple flags in these ginger jars, or I should say ginger beer bottles. I love food domes, so I kind of have a little collection of those up there. Some are new, some are old. Then we have the yellow gingham fabric. I think it's from Spoonflower. I have it on my cabinet doors, and then I also have it on the chairs here. I can try and link that below for you, but this is actually our pantry. I can show you. We don't have a pantry in this house, so this is where I keep all of our canned goods and pastas and things. And then in here is where we keep snacks for the kids that they can easily grab. And then I keep some produce up here, potatoes, bananas, avocados, things like that. And then we also have our microwave in here. I took it out of our kitchen years ago and we've had it in here ever since, and it works great. It kind of blends in because the color's almost exactly the same as this big cabinet. And then recently I found these at an antique store, these matching vases with the yellow and the blue. I thought those were so pretty. I don't know if I love them up here, but I really love the colors of them. And this little thing is actually a plant stand that I painted and distressed to make it look kind of like old and rusty. And then I just keep my tablecloths in here that I use for this room. I could probably get rid of quite a few of these because I don't tend to use them that often, but I actually kind of like how they look. And they're all thrifted. These hydrangea prints are also thrifted. I think those are so pretty. I had some plates on the wall here and I just swapped them out. So the spacing isn't probably perfect on these like I would want them to be, but the screws were already there, so I figured I would just utilize them. And then I thought I would show you this in case you're new here. This is a little topiary that I made with a stick from the yard and some greenery from Hobby Lobby that I cut up and just hot glued on the end of the stick, and stick it in a terracotta pot with some rocks on the top. I think it might have some styrofoam inside there, and that's it. Just hot glue pretty much is all you need, and then those other things, and you can make yourself all of these adorable little topiaries that don't need any watering. You can't kill them and they look adorable. Okay, let's go into the laundry room. Right off the bat, you can see that I hung some buntings from the windows here. And I just used some command strips, some Velcro command strips, and those went up super quick and easy. I think those are from Hobby Lobby. And then on our buffet here, I've got kind of a little seed starting thing set up here. I just got some cuttings off of one of my boxwood topiaries, and I'm trying to see if I can get them to grow and make my own. So that's what I've got going on in here. This is a little utility closet that I have a nice block print looking curtain hung up on it. Nothing pretty inside there, so I prefer to just cover it up. We keep our vacuum in there and paper towels and some shoes and things like that. And then on our shelves here, we've got just some laundry type related items. Things that you would find in a laundry room, I guess, is what I try and keep it to, so that I'm not just ending up with a million random things that don't make sense together. And everything I'm using has been thrifted, so even the jars that our laundry detergent is in, and it's all just thrifted stuff. I recently thrifted this little 2-sectioned caddy, and we've got our wool balls in there. I like the powdery blue. I have a plant. Every room's got to have a plant, right? And then then over here we have a big basket hanging on the wall and then another plant. I recently added in some copper in here to go with the more pale blues that I have in here. And I have some grain sacks, a scale, some thread on top of it. We've got our wooden shoes. This is kind of like a mudroom also. And then that's a still life that I painted in high school. I popped that in here. Got some old soaps and some cotton, more soaps and brooms and then over here on this shelf above the radiator, I just have thread and sponges. I had this bird's nest out for spring and I just kept it out. Okay, let's head into the kitchen. Lots of fun stuff going on in here. There's an overview look. Now let me take you a little bit closer. Over here, I've got a fun tea towel with some boats and some windmills. And so that was kind of my jumping off point, which I already have a lot of windmill decor. I already have a lot of boat decor, a lot of Dutch stuff. So yeah, I already have a lot of that stuff. So it worked out good as far as tying everything together. The next biggest statement piece here is this ship art that my dad gave me recently that I put above the stove. That adds a lot of nice interest. And then the next fun statement piece in here, I would say, is this strawberry canister that I thrifted. Very 70s, but just so fun for summer. And then it also came with a salt and pepper shaker. Very cute. I think the whole set was like $5 or something. And then here's some more windmills over here with some cherries inside. A little lamp with windmills on it. The cafe curtains are some French linen kitchen towels with a blue kind of a ticking stripe on either side. I think those add a really fun summer touch. We even have a little windmill here on the windowsill, along with our live topiaries. I have to have plants in every room. And over here on the island, I've got a vintage Jay's potato chip tin that I thrifted years ago. I did have some gorgeous big Annabelle hydrangeas in it, but they all died extremely fast. So I didn't get a chance preparing for this home tour to go pick any more and put them in there. But if you can imagine the big Annabelle hydrangeas coming out of there, it was really, really pretty. We've got our Laura Ashley with the China blue appliances in here that I love. I can link those down below for you. And then some more strawberries. I have one of those plates up here with the strawberries and then a plate with windmills. I didn't know which one I liked better, so I just did both. And over here we've got canisters. And then we have a little tomato canister there, and then this is holding all of our mixing spoons for teas and whatnot. And then I got this at a yard sale, and the lady was so sweet, she just gave it to me. I don't know what this is called. I do know it's made in England. I've seen these before. It's the only one that I have, and I really like it. I think it's perfect for summer. I love having lamps in the kitchen. So I've got those in both corners. And then over here above the fridge, we have a buffalo check curtain just to cover that cubby there. So yeah, we're just having a nice little summer picnic here in the kitchen. Just favorite time of year to enjoy the decor, and it just feels so nostalgic, especially this year. This year just feels extra special with it being America's 250th birthday. I feel like it was Christmas early this year with all the decorating.